Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Dish Network, ticker symbol DISH. And in this video, I will also be going over Plug Power, ticker symbol PLUG, SoFi Technologies, SOFI, ChargePoint, ticker symbol CHPT, as well as the 2X natural gas, which is ticker symbol BOIL. But so to start going over Dish, I just want to mention that between yesterday, December 13th, and today, December 14th, there was a gap up, and this is common amongst pretty much all of these stocks that I'm going to go over, so that is something to consider. And so with Dish, that gap fill to the downside would be going to a price of, let's see, $4.48.5. So something to consider there. It does look like we've gotten well above this channel that I had drawn before, but it does look possible that we could be returning to this green downtrending line, which would be right around, let's say, $4.30. But, also do want to point out that the max pain for tomorrow based on the, options chain is $5. So, it is quite possible that tomorrow there is a run up to $5, but I suspect there will be a close below on Friday, the 15th. So that is something to be wary of. Also, if we look at the moving averages, the 200-day, this orange line up here is pretty high up. But if we note the, 50-day moving average, the blue line down here, that is around a price of $4.32.5. So that would coincide approximately with this green downtrending level. So there's a possibility we return to that before possibly moving up to fill this gap that was previously formed, and filling that gap would be returning to a price of $5.26. But before filling that gap, I think it would be good to see a return to 448 to fill this gap here before moving up. So we'll have to see. But I also want to point out that on the 14th, it does look like there was this topping tail formed with the wick of the candle coming up to $4.93.5 before closing at $4.82. So again, just something to consider. And then also comparing that with Plug Power, it does look like there was, also this gap up that I had mentioned, topping tail. And also, what's really interesting with Plug is that the, close on December 4th was at a price of $4.80, which is represented by this red line here. The close today on December 14th was $4.79. That's not really a good sign. That does suggest that there could be a reversal, even though, the high was $4.96 on the day. That's really just creating another topping tail, another level to need to close above. So I would not be surprised with Plug if we saw a return to $4.35 to fill the gap here, and maybe finding some support at $4.18 before making the attempt at filling this big gap that was previously formed between, that is November 9th and November 10th. And that gap would be returning to a price of $5.88 in order to fill that. Also want to point out that the max pain for tomorrow, December 15th, is $4.50. So that does suggest some downside prior to what we would expect the close to be on Friday. So something to consider, that there is, likely to be downside before continuation to filling this gap at 588. Then moving on, SoFi has been super bullish, looking with the 13th going up more than 12% on the day. However, between the 12th and the 13th, just like the other two, there was a gap to the upside, and filling that would be returning to a price of $8.96. So I could see that happening tomorrow, especially with this big topping tail, having a high on the day on December 14th of $9.84, with again a close at $9.47. So I do suspect a pullback to around $9 before attempting to fill this gap to the upside at $10.31 in order to fill that gap. Also, should note, well, on, let's see, Wednesday, the 13th, there was this big green candle, the max pain that I just checked for Friday, December 15th, is $7.50. So I do think that this topping tail could be the sign of a reversal for not only the other two stocks, but especially this one with the max pain going lower. But hopefully we do close tomorrow, Friday, at these two levels that I feel will be support, $8.14, based on all of these days having wicks going up to that level. So it does seem like there's some nice consolidation there. Hopefully that can serve as support. And then I also do have $7.73 marked as potential support based on the high of November 29th, suggesting that that resistance could now be support. And if there is a close above this $7.50 max pain, that could suggest that leading into next week, there might be a gamma squeeze. So that could be potentially very, very bullish for the stock, with definitely the possibility, maybe next week, to be filling the gap up to 1031 and possibly higher. But before that, I would expect a pullback to fill this gap right around $9, and that seems like a good level to see if there's support before continuation higher, especially moving into next week. And so those three stocks were requested, but I also wanted to go over ChargePoint because I had made a video suggesting that I think it will go up to $3, or specifically to fill this gap at $3.03. But considering the gap up, that leaves this gap going down to $2.42. I do think that should be filled before not only moving up to $3, but a continuation beyond that. Also, with max pain at $2.50, does suggest there is some downside, even though on the day it was a more than 20% move, 20% increase, closing at $2.90. With max pain at $2.50, that suggests to me that maybe we'll get a move up to $3 during the day tomorrow, but I think it will close below, and that is just because with the max pain being at $2.50, we might fake some people out. Oh, it's going up to $3, get some people FOMOing in and wanting to establish a position before dropping the price down to $2.50 to get that maximum pain closing price. So that is something to be cautious of. But yes, I definitely do see $3.03 as a future price. I suspect might be hit tomorrow, but I don't think it will close above that price. And then also, for continuation higher next week, I do think that coming up to $3.30 is feasible. But, I do think this gap needs to be filled. And of course, with the max pain at $2.50, something to be cautious of. And then finally, I just want to go over Boyle because I had previously made a video suggesting that $27.11 would be a significant level to be closing above. And as you can see here on Thursday, December 14th, we closed above that level. And so that represents the highest close over the past week, starting with Monday. The close was $27.06 after this gap down between Friday, December 8th and Monday, the 11th. So I do think that this could be a very good sign moving forward. However, this also could be bearish consolidation. So there is a possibility we get a drop lower. But I do think it is nice to see these 4 days holding this level. Hopefully we close the week around 27, if not higher. And I should note that the max pain for Boyle as well here is $27. So hopefully we get a close above that and potentially, start a gamma squeeze, which I think would be awesome. especially with these levels marked to the upside, that I would like to see us revisiting sooner rather than later. But those are my thoughts, and if you enjoyed them, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and also suggest in the comments tickers that I should cover while I'm on vacation this week. Happy to go over a list of them like I did today. So thanks a lot for watching. Take care.